After a nearly 9-year absence, personnel of the Royal Saint Lucia Police Force are participating in the U.S.-sponsored Tradewinds exercise underway in Belize and Mexico. Word of the reinstatement came in a belated press release from the law enforcement agency this week. The RSLPF was barred from the U.S. Southern Command multinational training exercise due to the fallout from the withdrawal of U.S. security assistance arising from anti-crime crackdown that culminated with the infamous Operation Restore Confidence in 2011. The opposition, United Workers' Party, in a statement this week, says all credit for the Tradewinds relief should go to former Prime Minister Allen Chastanet's efforts to lift sanctions on the police, remarking, quote, "The former UWP administration worked tirelessly to restore St. Lucia's relationship with the United States government, which led to the announcement in June 2021 by the United States ambassador during a visit to St. Lucia that the United States would resume security cooperation and assistance to units within the Royal St. Lucia Police Force with immediate effect." End quote. But Press Secretary to the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, in the current SLP administration, Maundy Lewis, is pushing back at that narrative.
The UWP administration did nothing to get the Royal St. Lucia Police Force back into U.S. training. The announcements by the U.S. Embassy and the administration concerning training for the Immigration Unit and the Police Marine Unit were as a direct result of the efforts of U.S. Military Liaison Office at the U.S. Embassy in Barbados and the State Department, who the police had formal and informal dialogue with for about 2 years now.
Lewis reminded the public that contrary to some reports, the Leahy sanctions on the RSLPF as an organization remain firmly in place. Only some units of the force have been given a reprieve, that is the Marine Police Unit and the Immigration Department, which are earmarked for the formation of a border control agency.
The Special Services Unit and the rest of the force continue to be subjected to the Leahy Law, and training is selective and restricted to subject matter expert exchanges, SMEEs, and exercises, for example, exercise Tradewinds, taking place in Belize presently, and a few more calendared for the coming months. This administration and the Royal Saint Lucia Police Force continue to dialogue with senior officials within the U.S. government to address the outstanding issues which are not directly related to the police officers involved in the actual operations, but are significant enough to warrant further investigation and the implementation of corrective procedural measures to ensure that they do not repeat themselves in the future.
A CARICOM impacts probe was activated following U.S. sanctions on the local police force in 2013 due to alleged extrajudicial killings during 2010 to 2011. Former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, in a March 8, 2015 address to the nation, disclosed that the investigation concluded that the killings under review were unlawful, outlining recommendations for prosecution and reforms. On June 18, 2021, the United States Ambassador to Barbados and the OECS announced Leahy Law sanctions relief for the Marine Police Unit and the Immigration Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. However, sanctions remain in place on the overall law enforcement agency pending the outcome of the investigation in the alleged extrajudicial killings. Just days before the July 26 general election, Director of Public Prosecutions Dasrian Green, in a nearly 13-minute statement, disclosed that there will be no prosecution of law officers implicated in 5 of the cases, claiming there is not enough evidence to prosecute a case in those matters. To date, the ORC impacts saga has not been fully resolved. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.